Hi guys, welcome to Reen's Place. It is 5 days before Thanksgiving, and we're supposed to go, we were invited to somebody's house for Thanksgiving, but we have a sick beagle, so I'm not sure if we're staying home or what we're doing right now. So I'm going to make some of my traditional side dishes, get them in the freezer. If we're going, I'll pull them out and take them with us, and if not, I will make them here at home. So what I'm doing right now is what we call stuffing. Some people call it dressing. I call it stuffing. So I have here one gigantic onion, or you could use 2 small to medium onions. And then I have probably 2 cups of celery, and I have it diced very small because that's how we like it. Do it however you like. And then I have 2 week-old white breads. I bought them last week. I used like 2 or 3 slices out of each loaf. And I wanted them to be a week old when I make the stuffing, so that's that. And I have some homemade chicken broth in here. I canned some and I left some out. So I have this. I'm going to get the onions and celery into a pan with a stick of butter, and I'll bring you back when I'm over by the stove. Okay guys, I'm back on the other side of the room. I have, as you can tell from, if you watch my videos a lot, I normally use this burner, but this is a new stove. I used to have the ceramic top one, but unfortunately the oven went on that one. I was having problems with it for a while. My son bought me this one as a replacement. I picked the coils because I do a lot of canning, and on the glass top stove you can only do 1 canner at a time. And on this one I can do 2 of my 23 quart canners at one time. So I chose this one. And it has a convection oven, but I'm not exactly sure how to use it yet. So it's a really nice one, and my Tommy is the best boy. And then the same week, believe it or not, my microwave, which was, Chuck, the microwave wasn't that old, was it?
2 years maybe?
Maybe 2 years. I don't even think so. My microwave died too. Again, that was something that was like flirting with disaster. But we just picked up this microwave on sale. Again, it's 5 days before Thanksgiving, so they're already having like their Black Friday sales at Lowe's. So we picked another microwave, and the only 2 that they had there were damaged, so they gave me 20% off on this one, which was not. So it's an upgrade of what I was going to get, and I'm real happy with it so far. This is just 1 stick of butter, the celery and the onions, and I'm just going to cook it on a medium-high heat until they start becoming translucent. So I'm going to let this sit and go on its own a little bit. I have it on medium-high. I'm going to go a little bit lower. And we're going to turn around and we'll get the bread ready. So let me turn you back over. Don't want to get you sick. Okay. Let me grab a big bowl. Winifred. Okay, so you don't really need a bowl this big, but this is what I have. This is what I'm going to use. That's my chicken broth. Oops, I just dumped the lid in. No problem. Now, I thought I did a video for this last year, but I couldn't find one, so I will do it again. A little sip of my coffee. I'm using the same cutting board. I'll use my bread knife this time. You can use any type of bread. I've done this with Italian bread. I've done it with wheat bread, but this is my favorite. So white it is. I just like to cut them 4 that way, 4 pieces, and then 4 pieces the other way. Again, any way you want to do it. Into the bowl. But do you guys call it stuffing or dressing? We always call it stuffing, whether it was inside or outside of the bird. And what I do is I'll make it now and put it in a pan. But if I stay home and I do my own turkey, which I have one defrosted because I plan on cooking one, I guess, one way or the other. But I stuff the bird, and I usually take half of it out, leave it in the casserole dish, and the other half I stuff inside the turkey. and then I take the one that was cooked in the oven and I mix it with the one that was cooked into the turkey. I just feel like it tastes better that way. And yeah, I'm going to do this. And then also this week, again, I'm going to make this tonight. I'm going to put it in a metal pan, and I'm going to wrap it in foil and freeze it, and I'll take it out the night before. Okay, so I'm going to just continue chopping this loaf like I did that loaf, and I'll bring you back when the vegetables are done sauteing and we move on to our next step. Okay, we're back. The vegetables are nice and translucent looking. That was hot. Woo. And now I'm going to add chicken broth to this. So again, this is my homemade chicken broth that I can, and this is what I left some out to make the stuffing. But you could use, you know, of course, store-bought. Mine doesn't have any salt in it, so I'm going to have to salt this pretty good. If you buy commercial canned stock, then you should taste it before you add salt to it. But I'm going to put quite a bit in here because I got quite a bit of bread. And if you don't make this wet enough, you could also just add chicken broth right to the bread. It's not a big deal. So if I was buying it from the store, I would probably put, or if I was making, you know, like using a jar that I already made, I would use probably 32 ounces or a quart to start with. And again, I did not put salt in my broth, so I'm doing it now. And this is not a teaspoon or even a tablespoon. It says a tad. It's not a real measuring spoon. So it might look like I'm adding a lot of salt. It's really probably about a teaspoon. So I keep mine really simple. Salt, pepper, and then I do poultry seasoning. And I tend to stay more on the light side and then taste it, because once you add something that's too much, you can't take it out. You can fix it with, you know, adding more bread, adding more, this is thyme. So I have salt, pepper, poultry seasoning, and now some thyme, and just the littlest bit of sage, because the poultry seasoning has sage in it already, and you don't want to overdo, but I like a little. Okay, and again, when you taste it, if it doesn't, you know, if you're missing something or it tastes not as salty as you like, then just add a little bit more. And because this was, you know, it's got a little bit of like the jello in it from sitting in the fridge, I'm going to let it just warm up here for a minute. I'm going to let it warm up. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to let it cool a little tiny bit, and then we'll come back. So warm till it comes to a simmer. Turn it off till it's a little bit, you know, a little bit not boiling, and then I will bring it back. Okay, guys, we're back. This is cool enough. I just tasted it, and it needed a little bit of salt and a little bit of more poultry seasoning, which I put in there. And that's what I'm saying. Just, you know, keep a couple clean spoons next to your stuff and taste it as you go along. Remember to use a spoon. Nobody wants your germs in their holiday stuffing. All right, so I'm just going to pour this over the top of the bread. I'm going to turn it this way so I can see. And then scrape it. You want all that goodness in there. Okay. Then you want to give this a stir. And I'm probably going to need more broth because this is a lot of bread. But I like to give it the initial coat. There's so many ways to make stuffing or dressing or whatever you like to call it, but this is how my family does it. My mom has done this like for years. This is the only stuffing I ever remember. She used to put like, I don't know if it's called, Chuck, is it giblets or giblets? You know, like the innards of the turkey. She used to boil them and cut them up and put them in here, but I have never done that. I don't like it. So I just do this. I mean, it's looking pretty good. I might just do a little bit of broth, but before I do, I don't like it to be too wet. And I still have to add an egg. I like to put an egg in here to kind of hold it all together. Okay, so I just stirred it in, and before I put any egg in, I got a clean spoon. I'm going to taste it and see if I need to adjust my seasonings. I think I need a little bit more poultry seasoning, and I add it right in here. I think I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper. Okay, let me grab a clean spoon. It's a big spoon, I need a little one. Okay, so every time you adjust the seasoning, take a taste, see if you need more or less of something. Well, if you add too much of something, say you add too much salt and it's too salty, add a couple more slices of bread, add a little more chicken broth, it'll turn it down. It tastes pretty good to me. I'm going to grab an egg. Okay, so what I want to remind you, if you're not familiar already, if you put egg, well, I wouldn't, if you stuff your turkey, like I like to do stuffing, I like to put it in the bird. But what I do is I wash my bird off Thanksgiving morning, inside and out, pat it dry best I can. Then I take my already prepared stuffing out of the refrigerator, stuff it into the bird, and get it in the oven. Do never put the stuffing in the bird like the night before or hours before, because, I mean, you're just asking to get people sick. So yeah, this is the consistency I like. It's a little wet. This is it. This is how we make stuffing. Now all I did was I sprayed a aluminum foil pan with some nonstick cooking spray. As you can see, I have changed my countertop yet again. This is my red silicone counter covering that I'm using for Christmas. I need a bigger spoon. This will take me all day. Okay, so if you were doing this the night before Thanksgiving, you could do exactly what I'm doing now. Put the egg in, put it in a pan like you're doing, and then in the morning, do what I said. Rinse your turkey out, pat it dry, put whatever you can. As far as stuffing, you're not going to fit all of this into a turkey, but you could probably fit a lot. And then what I would do is I would take out of the pan the next morning, like scoop out into another, like a bowl. Scoop out a little section of it into a bowl. Use that to stuff your turkey. You don't want to be like using your turkey spoon in here and then in the turkey. Like, I don't like that cross-contamination stuff. But this is good just like it is. And like I said, you can take it from here, put it in your bird, and then just cover this with foil and bake it separately. And that's what I do. I put some in the bird, some in the pan, and then when the stuffing from inside the turkey is done, I mix it with the stuff in the pan, and it's all delicious. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to finish putting the stuffing in, wrap this in foil, and it's going in my freezer. The day before Thanksgiving, or if I end up going to my family member's house, then I'll leave it in there. But when I'm going to use it, I will take it out like the night before and let it come, start to frosting. It's okay if it's a little frozen, but I'll let it start to frosting. I'll cover it in foil, and then I will keep it under the foil, and I'll bake it at like 375 degrees for, I'm going to say, 40 minutes or so. Then I'm going to take the foil off, and I'm going to bake it for an additional 20 minutes. That's going to get the egg cooked. It's going to, like rise up just a little bit from the egg, and that 20 minutes at the end will just give it a nice little browning on the top, which is how we like it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I have a sweet potato casserole video for Thanksgiving that I did last year. If you want, give that a check. I'll link it below also. And then I'm also going to be doing ahead of time and freezing. I'm going to do my mom's homemade green bean casserole. It's not the one that you use the cream of mushroom soup and the canned green beans and that kind of thing. It's like you make your own homemade cream of mushroom soup, and I use the petite fancy frozen green beans and real mushrooms. It's so good. So I'm going to put that video up in the next day or two. Be sure to check that out. And any other Thanksgiving videos, I will tag them as Thanksgiving, and you can search Reen's Place Thanksgiving and see all of those. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys give this a try, or comment below and tell me how you make your stuffing and, what's your family's favorite. Alright guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit that red subscribe button, and remember to like and share these recipes. Thanks for watching.